when it comes to raising capital. First little thing that helped me out. So really how I got started in real estate was my very first deal. I didn't raise any capital, right? I saved up 5%. It was about 14 grand. And that was my down payment to do my first. It was just meeting people there. It was all it really was I just saved up money, right? So creative financing, there's two very basic ways to finance your deals. There's going to be save money, right? Work, save money, do a deal using a traditional down payment, traditional mortgage. That's awesome. It's slow, right? How many deals can you do that way in a year? Maybe one, maybe two. If you have a really high paying job, maybe 3 or 4, but you get capped out. You got to ask yourself, okay, well, there's people doing a bunch of deals, like we did about 12 deals in our second year of real estate. That would not be possible without creative financing. Right? So creative financing, if you were in the pre-show, it was essentially talking about how instead of simply getting your regular financing, what you could do is essentially find your down payment and attract that capital. Okay. What does that mean, finding your down payment? That essentially means, hey, if you have a good deal and you need some capital, you don't have your down payment, you don't have your renovation money, instead of giving up, you can't do the deal. If the deal's good enough, you will attract the funds. And today we'll actually be showing you different ways you can do that. Okay. Just letting some more people in. Cool. So first way and first little tip here is you want to start small. Okay. The first time I ever borrowed money for real estate, I only borrowed 9.8 grand. That was just my renovation money. Okay. I had a little bit of down payment left over, right? That I just had saved up some money, but that very first, I guess that was my first BRRRR. Sorry, correction. I did borrow all my down payment and all of the renovation money for that first BRRRR deal. My very first deal was just turnkey, buy and hold, house hack, right? That second deal of that first BRRRR, I borrowed my whole down payment and my whole renovation funds. Okay, I didn't borrow, I didn't go to a hard money lender right off. Okay, what I really did was I found traditional mortgage, okay, a lot easier to get. And then what I needed to fill in the difference, down payment and renovation money, that's where I borrowed those funds. Okay, you don't want to borrow 100% of the money on the first deal because that's not really starting small. Okay, if you're new to this, you want to start small. Okay, next is second part is you want to do anything in your power to learn from someone who's already doing this. Okay, I knew I got stuck after that first deal because I ran out of capital, right? I put in my whole life savings into my first deal, that first house hack, and then I knew I was stuck, right? So I ended up hiring a coach, essentially someone that had already learned how to raise capital, okay? I had to pay, it was about 16,000, got a little bit of a discount on that coaching. And essentially, like I borrowed those funds, right? I didn't have money to get coaching, but I knew if I didn't pay someone to learn this, I was going to waste a bunch of time. I was going to get frustrated. I wouldn't have a proper system or even like a step-by-step checklist of how to raise capital from other money partners, right? So that's where I went. I did whatever was necessary to learn that skill. And you guys are already taking action because you're in this webinar, right? You're learning how to raise capital and what does that even look like? Okay. Third piece, and this is really the beginning of your money raising, is that conversions or capital raised happens in conversations. Okay, you need to be having conversations to start raising capital. I know it's awkward to start asking for money, and this is why we teach our students how to attract capital. One quick tip that I'll use is I'm never directly asking for money. I'm always saying, hey, do you know anyone interested in getting a return on their money that beats the banks and is secured against real estate. I don't ask them if they're interested. I ask them if they know anyone who is interested. This is called an indirect approach. The reason I like this is because most people, human nature, are going to think about themselves first anyway. So I don't need to ask if they are interested. I just need to ask if they know anyone who is interested. Okay? But you need to have these conversations so that you can convert them into capital raised. Okay, how much conversations are you having each day if your goal is to raise some capital for deals, right? You should have a minimum. We'll be talking about key performance indicators later on, but that first start is just have daily conversations, or at least have a weekly goal of how many money conversations will you have with potential money partners. You're going to want to start with friends and family only. That's just to be compliant, unless you already know accredited investors. Do not put on your social media or Instagram, hey, I'm looking for investors. If the SEC finds you, you will possibly get in trouble. This is why you see me all the time. I try to train my people all the time to always say friends or family only, just because not everyone on my Instagram is a friend or family, right? Maybe we are friends, maybe we've already built a relationship, we can work together, but I can't go out just like, I wouldn't be able to go to in Polo Park or any local shopping mall and be like, hey, I'm doing real estate, like, give me your money. It does not work. You will be non-compliant. But you do have to start with that conversation. Okay. Fourth tip here is going to be you want to work hard first and then smart. Okay. If I gave you just a full-on system already of like, here's a script, here's how you can filter out who might be a good money partner, who might not be a good money partner. Here's how to set up your Calendarly. Here's how to set up your Zoom calls. Here's how to set up your background, all this crazy stuff that, yes, it does optimize your ability to raise capital. But in the beginning, you just want to work hard. And what do I mean by that? That means having 30 to 50 conversations, whether that's through text or through social media, a day. Okay. So I did that in the past. I've worked 100-hour weeks in the past of raising money, doing real estate, learning real estate, really sacrificing time to get better at this skill of real estate. And that's just necessary to work hard and then work smart. Okay. Yes, working smart is important, but having that variable where if push comes to shove, you will work hard for your capital, you will work hard for your deals. That's going to go very far. And it's also going to build you a track record. Okay. So there's a time where I didn't have enough capital. I was missing $25,000. And this is when I was going to move a house. Like we were going to lift a house and then move it and then we would sell it. Right. So I just tapped into the old school days of me having to work 100 hours a week. Right. Did I like that? Not necessarily, but it was necessary at this time. Right. So I would just call my whole list. I would contact everyone. I would start these conversations. And again, like Vishal was saying in the chat, like I wasn't afraid of putting in the work. I got my $25,000 money raised, a little bit of money that I made as well, just through the active income side. And that was only possible because I just relentlessly just kept going at it. And, maybe it wasn't the smartest way of just DMing a bunch of people that I knew, but that's just what hard work looks like sometimes. Okay. So that fourth rule is work hard and then work smart. Number 5, this is a great tip. This is more so a mindset piece, but start to believe it is possible. I'm looking here at who's present. Most people have already closed a deal. Some of you guys haven't closed a deal yet, and that's okay, but you just got to believe that it's possible. If you've already closed a deal, awesome, right? And you're having those doubts, like I have those times of doubt as well. And this is something I've gotten from a mentorship and the mastermind I got in Mexico, is to have a brag book. So if you already know it's possible, okay, you've already done it, you already have a track record, have a brag book. This is the book of all the deals you've done, all the awesome things you've done, and be okay to brag about that, even to yourself, because that helps feed and reinforce ourselves and our mindset to believe that this is possible. Because, times get hard sometimes and we fall into doubt, and we want systems to help us not fall into doubt. If you haven't done a deal yet, that's okay. Look at other people, right? Look at what other students are doing. Look at what other investors are doing. see that is possible for them, meaning it is possible for you. You might be in a better or a worse situation. That's just the parameters you're in. Some things you can control, some things you can't. But what is known for sure is that it is possible. If it wasn't possible, real estate wouldn't be one of those long-term generational wealth providers and generators. But it is, because it's possible. Okay, it is possible to get 10,000, 25,000, even 100,000 from a money partner. If someone has done it, then you can essentially do it as well. Kevin asks, brag book meaning social media or a journal? I like to keep my brag book as a journal. I have like a list just on my laptop, and I'll look at that whenever I'm starting to feel like, okay, well, doubts are creeping in, right? I have that brag book. You can use social media as a brag book. It's just, I find it a little bit more annoying sometimes, like looking through my own social media to find something specific versus if I have a file on my laptop, that's my brag book. I just click it. Okay, it's there. It's easy to access. Great question, Kevin. Next, sixth tip for raising capital is that speed of implementation is key. Okay, we've already talked about a few things here. The main one is just have those conversations, right? If a younger me was on this call, I would already be contacting people if my goal is to raise capital. I would be already asking people, or just copy paste to people like, hey, hope your day's going well. I was wondering, I'm getting into real estate. This is like my previous self, right? Talking about the past. Hey, I'm getting into real estate. I've hired a coach, this is what I'm learning. I've been learning how to provide better interest than the banks and how to beat the banks using real estate investing. I'm wondering if you know anyone who might be interested. And I would send that to about 10 to 8 people per hour as a new DM. The reason I'm just doing that is because, like, it just popped in my head that you don't want to get banned on social media, so you can't just DM endlessly per hour. It's maximum 8 to 10. I believe it's 12, but I coach my team 8 to 10 people per hour of your new DMing. Okay, but speed of implementation is key. Okay, the moment I learn something, I'm using it right away. Even while I'm in a class like this, I'm always looking for that one thing I can do right away while I'm listening to this, especially if it's something that's just copy and paste, I'll do it right away. So, hey, if you're listening right now and you're raising capital, awesome. Get ready and start having those conversations already. Vishal's going to jump off, he said. He's going to prep for another call tonight at 8 p.m. So if you're interested, hit him up. I think that's open to the public as well, but not too sure. Don't hold me on that. Number 7, you want to become equal to your mentors and not a fan. Okay, this is a little bit more of mindset, but I've always had mentors, right? These are people I always looked up to. Could be like Nelson, could be like Owen, could be like Craig. I wanted the life that these people had, right? They got into real estate. They built successful companies. They were good at raising capital. They were good at different skills, and I wanted those skills. However, I do my best not to fanboy over that or fangirl over that. And the reason for that is you want a long-term outlook. So if you can learn from your mentors, not just become a fan, right? But instead treat them as your equals. That's going to open a lot more doors because raising capital is a long-term game. Remember in the beginning, I talked about the importance of your track record. Okay, that track record is going to follow you, and your mentors actually help you with your track record as well. Because who knows, maybe they'll do deals with you. Okay, I already have a couple of students that have reached out to me. I'm like, hey, I like what you're doing. I have some capital ready. Here's some skills. We can do a joint venture together. But they're not, again, treating me like I'm a higher place. I'm just a regular person that's learned a few things in advance. I'm trying to share that with you guys as much as I can. And that's how you also want to treat your mentors, because you never know, they might raise some capital for you in the future, or they might even go into your deals in the future. You want to really keep that relationship over the long term. Number 8, continual positive improvements. Okay, this can also be set up as the 4th iteration. So anytime you're starting something new, the first time it's probably going to suck. I remember the first time I started messaging people about raising capital, it sucked. The first time I built out a script and started using a script for my Zoom calls of how to raise capital, okay, that script sucked. Every single time I get better. though. Okay, so something that I learned a few weeks back is when I'm doing my money raising calls, I'm spending a lot more time just finding out their situation, the other person's situation, the possible lender. I'm just trying to get to know their situation. Okay, what are their problems? What are their goals? What's important to them value wise? Then I go into asking, okay, what do they think is missing to help them get to their goals? What do they think they need exactly? Is this a priority for them? And then do they want my help? Okay, even that simple framework, okay, that is literally the script that I'll use. I have that memorized because I've done it so much times and I've proved it so many times, okay? But it's never settling to be like, okay, my script is good, I'm not worrying about it. I won't even do money raising calls without a script. So if you're in the mentorship program, let me know. I can pass you a script for that. But I don't do these calls without a script. I don't care if I have it memorized, it's on my computer just to make sure that it's there and how I can make it better. Something I've implemented the past few weeks is layering in my objections into my script, okay? So I know people are gonna most likely object of, okay, it's $5 grand minimum, that's quite a bit of money. It's 10 grand minimum, that's quite a bit of money. My minimums now is 10 grand. If people wanna do money, be a money partner. That being said, I know people are gonna complain about that. And I already have my objection handler ready of like, hey, just so you know, investing with us isn't cheap. We really try to minimize the amount of investors that we take just so we can have good relationships with everyone. I'm no longer in a place where I want to take 1,000 from this person, 3,000 from this money partner and 4,000 there. I want minimum 10 grand, just makes our lives easier. It makes the lives of our money partners easier. That's now in my script so that objection of, oh, it's expensive, oh, I don't want to invest 10,000 into this deal where I'm only going to make 10% or 12% annually. Well, that conversation has already been had. They will less likely pop onto that objection, right? But those are small things that you're continually improving, right? Always getting better, whether it's your pitch, your script, your ability to even generate the leads. You always want to just look at those little ways that you can get better, right? Next is going to be, let success talk for you, okay? You see that I'm a big fan of documenting the process, okay? What do I mean by that? Is when I'm raising money, when I'm doing deals, when I'm doing renovations, I'm just documenting what's going on because that becomes my marketing for when the deal's done or if I need a capital infusion and to raise my money during the deal. Okay, if people don't know what I'm doing, it's hard to raise capital. People don't know what you guys are doing, what you're learning, and how you're doing that. It's gonna be very difficult for them to trust you. Transparency is super key. Okay, you hear people talk about brand. Brand is just another word for reputation, right? You don't need to put so much money into your brand if you just have a good reputation and you're able to be transparent, right? I was just on a call with a money partner. I'm actually the money partner in their deal, and we run into some issues, right? I'm supposed to get my whole 60,000 back by February. I'm only getting 30,000 back in February. Am I mad? No. Why? Because this person had great skills in communicating with me and letting me know what the plan is. Okay, I'm also very flexible. I know that nothing's guaranteed. So I said, hey, no worries, let's just renegotiate. But I let their success talk for them, right? They were constantly transparent with me. They were always being honest. They were always following up with me. Okay, that goes far. And it's the same thing of if you guys are already in real estate or if you're wanting to get into real estate, start documenting your process now. Right? Take a quick video of this. So like, hey, I'm interested in real estate, guys. Here's a webinar I'm joining. I'm here with, Coach Patrick, and he's teaching me about creative financing. Okay. 10. We're almost near the end there. Money follows value. Okay. You're only going to track capital if you're actually creating something of value. This could mean you're giving an interest that's attractive enough to your money partners. I go from 8 to 10% to 10 to 12. I'll go even as high as 13% interest if I'm in a pinch, I need money fast, right? But the money's only going to come to me if I actually provide value. Same thing with once you're renting out the property, let's say. You're only going to get the most bang for your buck if that property is actually valuable, people actually want to live there.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks so much for all your support. If you're loving this kind of content and you want to help us make more, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I appreciate you guys so much. We would not be able to do this YouTube journey without you. So thanks so much. If you haven't subscribed already, don't be a ninja watcher. Hit that subscribe button right there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
There, okay. Money is always going to follow value, so you want to provide value first. Okay. If you look at my social media content, and I always talk about social media because it's one of my main lead generators for finding capital, I'm just sharing new things that I learn all the time. Okay. Would it be more financially sound for me to keep some secrets? Sure, I run a coaching program, right? That might help me, but in the grand scheme of things, something I found is the more value I put out, okay, if people use it, they're able to close money partners for free without having to pay for coaching. Awesome, right? I always tell people, you sign up for coaching, not for the knowledge, because you can literally learn everything online. You sign up for respect of your time, because you can learn it faster. It's already set up for you in a clear-cut curriculum. And you're paying for accountability and implementation. How can we set up systems that are going to work for you specifically? Maybe you're a person where, hey, if you just do phone calls, that's going to be awesome. Maybe you're already a little more sophisticated. Let's set you up with a Calendly. Let's set you up with a system where leads come in, they book a call, and now every single week you're booked with calls with money partners, and now you can actually start saying no. Okay. However, you can't get to that unless you don't know, unless you do know number 11, which is this tip of you got to know your KPIs, key performance indicators. Okay, this is what's killing so many business owners, so many investors in real estate, is that they don't know their KPIs. How many DMs do you need to make for one booked call? Okay, that's going to be a representative percentage. Okay, how many people do you need to start that conversation with until you get one book call? Once you're on a booked call, what's the show up rate? Okay. How much of the people that said they were going to jump on a call with you, how many actually show up? Of those people that show up, how many actually give you money? Okay, how many do you actually close? This is your close rate. This is where sales skills come into play. And we're going to go back up to number 8, which was continual positive improvements. Okay, you can't improve what you don't track. Okay, I track literally every conversation that I have every single day, every single week, and everyone that's on the marketing team and the contact team, they're tracking all their calls as well, all their messages. And that we know, okay, every single day, we're doing minimum 50 contacts per person on the team. Okay, that means 50 messages a day. From those 50 messages a day, a certain amount of people are going to book calls with us. Of those book calls, a certain amount of people are going to show up. Of people that show up, a certain amount of people are going to be interested and actually get money for raise money. And another KPI I like to track is the average capital raised, meaning once you actually close these people, how much on average are they actually giving you so that you can do your deals? Questions, comments, critiques, or concerns. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to check Facebook as well real quick if there's any questions in there. I don't think so. Awesome, awesome. If you guys have questions in Zoom, you can put them in there as well. Now, let's jump right back into it. I do want to make this, as engaging and where you guys are still taking part of this process. If you guys have questions, ask them away. We got a question here. Let me see. We got oh, here's a question. Yes, for number 9, how were you able to raise your very first capital without a track record just yet? Awesome. That's a great question. So how I was able to do that? So the question was, how did I raise capital for that first deal when I didn't have any experience or a track record raising money and providing returns? Well, I used the leverage of my coach, right? I would just literally say, hey, I'm working with my coach, Nelson. He's done this many deals. He's a pro at raising capital, and he's showing me how to do this. So he's helping me do my first deal using other people's money. And I would also agree to people when they say you don't have a track record yet. I'd be like, yes, this is true. And this is why I've invested in my own education. This is why I invested in a team of people smarter than me so that we can take care of your capital. Also, here's a promissory note that is secured against the property so that they can also guarantee their funds. So that's a great question. If you don't have a track record yet, you want to lean on people that do or start small. Okay? Sam, on top of raising capital through DMs, thoughts on collecting credit cards, line of credits? Is there a risk to having access to too much credit? That's an awesome question, Sam. So Sam's also in our group there, and perfect question. Yes, I love to raise capital through credit cards, line of credits. Okay. The risk of having too much access to credit, the risk is really yourself, right? And your own education or lack thereof. If you know you're pretty good at like having access to credit and then not using it all and not ruining your life with credit, then I say it's awesome. There's actually line of credits that are actually cheaper than private money. Okay, I have some line of credits at 7 or 6%, right? Those are awesome. What I used to do before was I would increase my credit limit every single month. Now the rules change a little bit. I believe it's every 3 to 6 months you can raise your funds there, or you can raise your access to capital. Are you showing your investors a property you're purchasing and walking them through how is it a profitable deal? Yes, I'm walking them through the if it's a profitable deal, and I'm showing them the numbers. I'm not necessarily giving them a walkthrough of the property. I usually do that after possession already. And then I show them, okay, this is what the property looks like. And then at the end, I like to invite them to the showing once everything's done, right? Investors like that. It's more of a kind gesture. It also builds the brand a little bit in a sense of, hey, you gave me some money, here's what we did with it, right? And I'll literally, like in my notes, in my bookkeeping, I get to see, okay, you know, John's money went towards the kitchen. So like when John's in the room and he passes by the kitchen, I'm like, hey, John, like, thanks so much for giving us this capital. You're getting interest, of course. So like, you know, you're winning too, but hey, look at this before and after of this kitchen. And then it gives them that sense of involvement. Like, hey, their money, yeah, it sat in my bank account and they didn't really have to do anything, but that money wasn't just in my bank account. It flowed through subcontractors. It flowed through different materials. It flowed through the renovation. And now they see that there's actually a transformation of where their money was put and in what that room or that renovation or that deal looks like. That's an awesome question. I don't really like to waste time walking all my money partners through a deal before buying it, mostly because I like to choose my money partners. And then if I show them the numbers and it makes sense, they do their due diligence, that works as well. But I have heard of some real estate investors doing that. Will actually show the property. It makes sense if it's a big deal. If it's a single family house, very simple, straightforward deal, I don't usually like to waste time like that, but that's an awesome question. Cool. Next one is going to be number 12 is it's okay to win for yourself. Okay. Yes, raising money means that we are responsible for other people's money, especially if they're doing a loan with us and we use a promissory note, but it is okay to win for yourself, right? This is just more so a mindset thing of like, we want to help other people, but before you can help yourself, before you can help other people, you need to help yourself, and that's okay. I run into a lot of real estate investors that, you know, of course we want to do this for family. That's one of those big values and virtues that I tend to see from my students as well. That being said, you can only help mom, dad, wife, husband, other people, your family, your kids, if you have kids, if you are good, right? So I always like suggest, yeah, the first few deals, like my first few deals were for my parents, but my very first deal was my own house, right? I needed to just show myself it's possible. Then that second deal, my parents even offered to fund a deal, no interest. And I said, hey, that's okay. I love it. I get that you guys care, but I need to win for myself, meaning the win for me at that time is getting the experience of raising those funds. Even if I had better financing, you know, it was going to be something that parents could just fund. I was like, hey, no, I don't want to take that money. I want my win to be use other people's money, even if it wasn't a full money raise, like I had a mortgage still. I wanted to at least have that experience because it builds a track record. I can't build a track record off of, mom and dad's money. Okay. JBS, you mentioned you bought a turnkey property on your first 5% house. Can you talk why this is a good stepping foot into real estate investing? And can you talk about the process before getting your first BRRRR after? Okay, cool. So 2 questions there. The 5% for that house and then house hacking, renting out the rooms. It's a great way to get your foot in the door because it's a lower ticket, right? It's easier to find 5%, 5% of a $200,000 house, 10 grand, versus 20% of that, which is like 40 grand, right? It's just easier to find 5%. Then the process before getting my first BRRRR, like after, once I was working on the first BRRRR, it was just finding money partners, right? Once I found money partners, I got this from the book Money People Deal, rest in peace, Stefan Arnio. But if you have money, if you have a good deal, you usually find the right people. If you have the right people and the right deal, you usually find the money. And if you have the right people and the right amount of money, you can usually find a good deal. You just need 2 out of the 3 there. So I knew I could find the deals. I knew I could find the people. I just need to attract the money. So then I focused on people and deals. Every week I would look at deals. Every Friday, Saturday, I would look at real estate deals, sometimes even during lunch, and like physically go to these properties, right? And on my downtime, I'll be having these conversations, DMing people, contacting people, getting them on calls with myself as private money partners, or even just raising my access to credit. That's a great question. 13, have an open mind. Okay, again, we're getting more into mindset right now, but you need to have an open mind of you got to try different things to attract capital. Okay, I've done, sometimes I'll just literally copy Grant Cardone's videos. Grant Cardone came out with these videos where he would block the name on checks and congratulate his money partners for getting these checks. I still do that to this day. And, at first I was like, I don't know if I could do this, like who the hell am I? I'm Patrick J. Hilario. I'm not Grant Cardone. But I said, screw it, right? Like my money partners got paid. I'm super proud of this. And if Grant Cardone does it, why not try? And that's actually one of my greatest pieces of content, not for views, those are vanity metrics, right? But for attracting real capital. One of my first real estate students that actually started doing his own deals, and he closed his first deal in 27 days and got into BRRRRs. Second year, did about, I think, 3 BRRRRs that year. He came to me wanting to do real estate because he saw that video of me saying, hey, thanks so much to, I don't even remember who it was, but John, and here's his check for $50,000. Thank you so much for being a money partner. Okay, that type of video, it's what I like to call the 1 week flex. At the end of your deals, once you have rented it out, you've done all your deals, you've done all the renovations, everything's good, maybe you got to refinance, maybe you flipped it, whatever it is, document that and then use that as marketing, right? Document that process, show what happened, the good and the bad, and then add a call to action, add a little message to tell them to message you if they're interested, and if they're a friend and family only, of attracting some capital. Okay. 14, we're getting near the end here. Throat's getting a little sore. Have a 3-year mindset. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you that real estate is get rich quick. It's not. Okay, it's get rich slow. Okay? So you want to look at this as a 3-year mindset. If you just focus on conversations all the time, looking at deals all the time, learning more about financing in general. Like Sam mentioned something awesome today. Today I was just looking at private money, like money from other money partners, but it's true. If you don't want to go that route, you can use credit and line of credits. That does make sense. Even a combination of that is what I usually use. And you want to look at this, his first year, it's going to be tough. You're just learning the basics, but after year 3, a lot of these basics are going to be ingrained now. Okay. Like I said, I've been using a script for 3 years. I have that script memorized, right? But I did not have it memorized the first year. I didn't even have it memorized the second year. But now, after the 3rd year, been doing this for about, we started in 2018, so it's almost almost going on to 5 years now. Still use a script, right? Even if I memorized it, it's just getting better and always looking at the 3-year mindset. You got to, again, combine that with believing it's possible. And finally, you want to ask yourself, what if? Okay, I love this question because it really puts everything into perspective. When I have, deals that go wrong, I got to raise some money to, I had a partner that ran out of money, so I had to find some money for him to continue the deal. Well, I just asked myself, what if I just don't do this? Well, now that relationship is going to be messed up because I made a promise that I'll find this guy money, help him out. He's going to lose out on the deal, so that's going to cost him money and even like grief and all the stresses that come with not having enough funds. And it's going to mess up my track record. So I said, hey, I'm just going to work and just find this capital. It is a good deal. It did make sense. We just had some hiccups, but we just go on forward. I always ask myself too, what if I didn't stay up during the time where, even my own coach said, hey, you have 24 hours. The cost of the program is 16 grand. You got to find that money. Okay. If I didn't call on my friends, I didn't build a team, and then we kind of split the cost there, I would not have got into real estate. Okay. I would not be able to throw webinars like this. What if instead of hiring an assistant, because I knew I'd already done the whole work hard part, now it was time to play and work smart. I needed to hire an assistant and I need to train her on raising capital. Okay. Well, what if I didn't do that? Well, she wouldn't be making money. I would still be having to do everything in the business, which is insane. Okay. My line now when it comes to hiring and scaling is, if I want to ruin my life, I won't hire anyone. Okay. If I really want to ruin my life, I'll do it alone. Yeah, those are kind of the 15 little tips of how you can improve raising capital. A lot of it is just, you guys need to start having these conversations with people. Right? If you're in the mentorship program, you can ask me about like a script if you want to do that. I also have some free videos on YouTube of just like this, I call it the 6 boxes technique of, it's a question-based script. So you're finding out, okay, what's the situation of our potential money partner? What are their goals and values? What's stopping them from hitting those goals? What else do they think is missing? Is this a priority for them? And do they even want our help with this? Okay. That's really it starts, but you got to have those conversations. That's how you're going to build trust. You need to put out your marketing out there. And a big one too, and is going to kind of combine everything, especially the 3-year mindset, is you guys got to start building an email list today. Okay. You hear me talk about social media all the time. The problem with social media is you don't own those subscribers. You don't own those followers. Once you put them onto an email list, now you have a little bit more control, and now it is an asset for your business. Even if you're not in real estate right now, if you plan on being in real estate, well, now you know, because you watch this webinar and you're here, you're paying attention, you know that it's not a question of if you'll run out of capital or if you'll get blocked of financing, it's a question of when. So don't wait till you run out of capital. Banks are telling you they're not going to finance your deals. Do not wait till then to start having these conversations, start building that email list, start nurturing your potential money partners in the future. Okay. Just continue offering value, continue to help them out, continue to share your knowledge. And if you're scared that you're not giving enough knowledge, right, when you in your marketing, like one thing I do is just share everything I learn. But like today is a good example. Like I was kind of nervous sharing all this because people pay a lot of money for this stuff, right? And am I devaluing it? I don't think so, because the ones that are here that are in the mentorship program, you guys are already taking action. Awesome. For the ones that aren't in the mentorship program and you do take action, awesome. Like I love that I was able to help you out for free. Now, if you're someone that wants to take it to the next level and you seriously want to get into the program, see how we can help you stay accountable, help you build a customized roadmap so that we can really know exactly what your goals are, how you can actually reach those goals, what you need to do for the first 30 days, 60 days, and 9 days, help you build that. We also show you how to run marketing campaigns, not only for leads, but also for money partners, and how you can continually create this marketing without having to spend hours recording videos or making content. We also show you how to leverage money with maximum efficiency. That's where you're going to learn how to raise capital, how to use other people's money, how to actually improve your high-level networking skills so that you can attract more capital, and how to actually handle all the paperwork that's attached to raising capital. We'd love to help you with that as well. We also show you that we do teach you how to have a rapid ROI, get a return on your investment ASAP. That's because we show you different tools, what are systems for raising and doing deals, what are systems for leveraging money, and even as far as we give you full-on checklists and processes so you can actually close your deal with us. As long as you continue working with us, we want you to become an independent money partner. That's why we offer essentially lifetime access into the program. And then finally, my favorite part of all this is we want to build you an indestructible team. You're not going to do this alone. We don't want you to do it alone. We don't want you to become a professional landlord. Instead, we really just want you to build a team, learn how to scale, learn how to optimize your portfolio. So if you're interested in that, send me a DM, whether that's Instagram or Facebook. Let me know. I'd love to see if we can help you out. And if not, you get a free roadmap anyway. At least you know step by step what you could work on. It's going to be a ton of free value for you. So again, if you're interested, just send me a DM, send me a message on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever it is. And yeah, I'd love to help you out with that. You guys are awesome. I am going to jump onto Instagram Live here. We're going to do the Q&A portion. And then if you guys have questions, we can do the Q&A there. But let me just put on the Instagram Live here, and then I'll answer some questions. You guys can put them in the chat. If you guys want to jump on Zoom and physically, or I guess not physically, but vocally ask a question, you can do it as well. So I'll put Q&A for creative real estate investing. Okay, so we just finished there. I'm going to check the Facebook as well. Welcome. We just finished the live stream, the webinar, and I am taking a look at any questions here. Oh, I got one question here, and pause this. You guys can, excuse me. How much interest do you provide your money partners? How soon do they get paid back? That's a great question. So for me personally, I pay about 6 to 8% annual under 10K. Now I don't really take 10K anymore. So that's actually like, around 10K investments. Sorry, not investments, money partners, friends and family only, right? 8 to 10%. It's closer. That's closer to 20K as a money partner. And then finally, we have, more than 25K, we're looking at 10 to 12% annual interest. Okay. I like to pay my money partners monthly. Okay. Friends or family that become my money partners, I like to pay them monthly. And the reason for that, especially if you guys are new, that builds a track record, because you don't wait until your deal is done to pay your money partners. Instead, you're paying them essentially one a month at a time, so they're immediately getting a return on their capital. And hey, I like it because it reassures my money partners that we're actually doing something, and they're getting paid right away. So that's a great question. And how soon do they actually get paid? Once the deal is done, or it's an open term for 1 year. Okay. That's how I like to run that. But those are great questions. Cool. If you guys have questions on the Zoom, you guys can raise your hand if you want to ask a live question. If you guys have a question on Instagram, you can ask me a question here as well. We got lurkers saying, yo, what's up, man? We got Raul asking a random question. It's all good. I don't really know what that's asking there. I don't know why he's asking that. I don't know if he's trying to be funny or something. But yeah, if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll be on here for a little bit, and then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening. Okay, thanks so much for everyone that joined. Again, for the ones that are hopping on to the live stream on IG, if you guys are interested, book a call, right? Let's do a free strategy session. I'd love to help you out with that. And then, yeah, you pay 8% of 10,000 every month. No, not 8% every month. It's 8% annually, right? It's 8% annually, and then I pay monthly, what's it called? Interest. So it'll be 8%, their total interest for a year, divided by 12. Yeah. Cool. No worries, Ijaz. Glad to answer your question. Anyone else here? You guys got questions, comments, critiques, or concerns? Let me know. If not, I'll just cut it short because I'm a little tired. Anyone else got questions? Check out the Zoom chat. Got questions, you guys can raise your hands. Sorry, I might have missed it, but do you do monthly payments more for just security for the money partners? Great question. I do it in the beginning because it builds that track record, right? It helps assure the money partners that, hey, they're getting paid. And, you know, the last thing you want is to take someone's money, put into a deal, and then like not contact them for 3 months with no updates or anything. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't know if this is working out. Like they're freaking out. They haven't even heard from you. They think you might've just ran away with their money. I want to avoid that. So I'll pay out monthly so that they know they're getting it, right? They get a quick little, maybe a little blurb or a message from me saying this is what we did for the renovations or for the deal. But essentially, once I've built a track record, I have a few money partners that they trust me so much. They don't really need the money. And they just wait till the deal is done. They get a lump sum payment. I prefer that. That's better for me because now I'm not losing capital every single month. I'm not having to like pay out because, you know, sometimes you do a deal and part of that interest is just coming out of my own pocket, right? Because then we're actually doing the deal. It hasn't made any money yet. But I like to do the monthly, especially in the beginning, because it builds that track record. Okay. If you say you're going to pay them in a month and you pay them in a month, just interest, that's awesome. And they get to actually see that, hey, this does beat the bank. Like the easiest sell is like, hey, cool. Like you're in a money partner deal with myself. How much did your bank pay you last month? Cool, 83 cents. Awesome. How much did I pay you last month? $83. Who's better? Easy question, right? Easy answer. Sam, sounds like I need to get over the fear of diving into people's DMs and asking if they know anyone who is interested in investing and getting a good return on their money. Yes, quick adjustment there. If they're interested in being a money partner, friends and family only, okay? It's nuanced, Sam, but that is, I don't want you to get in trouble, right? So just make sure you do that. And if you don't want to go cold into DMs, like for me, and I have a team, right? So we can do this all day long. We just cold DM people. If you don't want to cold DM people, make a post that you're learning real estate. Make a post that you're interested in raising some money. It's friends and family only. You make a quick post, whether it's an actual post on Facebook, on Instagram. I like Facebook and Instagram. The people that like it, those are warm leads. Contact those people first, right? I use stories a lot on my Instagram. The people that I'm going to contact first, if I'm using a story strategy, is going to be the first 10 people, because those people, based on the app, those are the people that are constantly watching my stuff. So I know there's at least somewhat interested. The person at the very bottom of the list, the person that I haven't really talked to in years, I don't really DM, that's a colder lead. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult, right? But yeah. It's that fear, right? The more educated you are, and then if you have that little script of asking those 6 questions, what's their situation? What are their goals? What's stopping them, or what's an obstacle from hitting their goals? What's missing? Is this a priority for them? And do they want your help? If you come from a place where you're just trying to help, it's not going to feel salesy, right? You're just having a good conversation. And like, honestly, we can't help everyone, right? If you have $5,000 to your name, I can't really help you for being a money partner. I could a few years ago, but now my minimums are higher, so I can't. But I might send you to one of my students. I might just ask like, hey, you know, $5,000, even at 10% interest, which you're not going to get for $5,000. It's like $41.66. Is $41 going to like change your life a month? Not necessarily. I might even suggest like, hey, if you're not in mentorship just yet, put in your $5,000 deposit. Let's get into the program. And then that's going to provide a much better return on your money. But absolutely, Sam, a little bit, just you get over it a little bit. But like I said, first rule is start small. Maybe you're not having to DM 50 people a day, right? Start with one. How scary is it? It's not that scary. Awesome. Get 2 next time. Okay. Hope that helps. Any other questions, comments, critiques, or concerns? I'm going to check Facebook here. No questions here. It looks good. We got Waleed in here. Waleed's one of my money partners. He's been with me for a while. And then our deal is actually almost done. Just waiting on that refi. It's been so long. Waleed there. So again, here's the example of me trying to communicate as well as I can. But yeah, my own money partners, like they're watching, right? So this is why I like to document so that they know we're all doing deals. If Waleed was my money partner and he didn't see any updates and I wasn't doing any real estate, I wasn't working hard, like it's fair for him to be worried, right? But by doing the daily marketing, showing people we're still in real estate all the time, even if there's all this fear around being a recession, we just get better. We just make sure we have better systems, spend less, make sure that our money partners get paid first. And then us as a real estate investor, as a real estate entrepreneur, we technically get paid last. Okay. But you get to keep the asset. So gotta pick your battles. Kevin says, thanks for letting me join tonight, Pat. Great to hear how you raise capital for your deals. Keep crushing. Hey, thank you, Kevin. Glad that you got some value there. Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone. Okay, you guys are awesome. Hopefully you guys got some value there. And then, yeah, if you guys are interested, book a free strategy session if you're not in Alliance mentorship just yet. If I can't help you, because I'm not sure if I can, or if I find another coach is a better fit, I'll pass you that coach. I want to make sure you get the right coach for you guys. I am the principal of Alliance Real Estate, so I really like to do my best to still teach. Right? I want to be that principal that's still in the field, still helping students get to their goals and helping you guys. So yes, I may be the principal, but I'm still coaching, still doing deals, still being a practitioner. So thanks so much. You guys are awesome.
The knowledge I had with real estate wasn't that great, and that's when I knew I needed a mentor to guide me through the steps of minimizing my mistakes and obtaining property. It kept me accountable with the limited time I had after the long hours at work. It taught me things I wouldn't have learned without a mentor.
Thank you to Patrick. Big help, helping with pretty much everything ever since I started. So big shout out to Patrick and Alliance.
Nice. Yeah, Nick's an action taker, so we can help guide you, but you still got to do work, and Nick is a testimonial for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Patrick, for this program. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. That was the best six weeks of my life.
I just want to give a shout out to my man Patrick. Just honestly been one of the best teachers that I've ever had.
It's a very informative course. Patrick works with you one-on-one, so if there's any questions or anything you might be doubting or you're uncertain of, he'll definitely be there to help. Honestly, I highly suggest this course. It's taught me a lot through my journey.